One of the first wine tastings I ever went to when I became a wine guy was a tasting of Burgundy. And I remember I went up to one producer and I said, "You make fantastic Pinot Noir." And he looked at me and he went, "I do not make Pinot Noir. I make Gevrey Chambertin." Well, Gevrey Chambertin is an appellation in Burgundy where they only use Pinot Noir to make their wine. So, what's up? Now, this leads me to my subject for today, the wine label, and the two types that are out there. First of all, let's go to varietal labeling. And this is used predominantly in the New World. And by that I mean Australia, New Zealand, California, Canada. Take a look at it. What do you see? There we go. The most dominant thing, Sauvignon Blanc. Okay? That's the variety. That's the grape variety. And it comes from Marlborough, which is secondary in New Zealand. And then there's the producer. Take something, a label from the exact same guy, Henri Bourgeois, but he makes his wine also in Sancerre. You see, Sancerre, Les Barons Henri Bourgeois. That's also made with Sauvignon Blanc. Now, which is the better label? Now, on the surface, the New Zealand one, where it says Sauvignon Blanc, is really interesting. But in reality, while on the surface it may be a little bit more difficult, because Sancerre you have to do a little bit of research. What's the grape that goes into Sancerre? And you find out eventually it's Sauvignon Blanc. It will give you a better idea of what kind of wine you're going to taste. The difference between these two is quite extraordinary. The Marlborough wine, because of the climate, which is cool, and because of the soils, is very, very crisp, very acid. You got a lot of green notes to it, like asparagus, and a little bit of sweetness to it. The Sancerre is richer, it's textured. The fruit profile is maybe a little bit more tropical. There's less of that grassy greenness. There's more white minerality. What's the difference between the two? Same producer, the place. The place is always more important than the grape. If you've ever had a Shiraz from Australia and a Syrah from the Northern Rhone and tasted them side by side, you know that the same grape is two completely different expressions. And when I've done tastings with people, I asked them what their favorite wine is, and what I found was that it wasn't the grape that they liked the most, but they liked the place. So, would they like the Syrah from the Northern Rhone or Cabernet Sauvignon from Barossa? If they like Barossa-style wines, I bet they'll like the Cab, even though they say they like Shiraz. So, wine labels. One is the grape. Interesting. It gives you a basic idea of what kind of wine you're going to have. But unless you know the place, you're not going to know precisely what you're going to get. So, those are the two kinds of labels. European labels, you got to do a little bit more work, but in the long run, I think they're a little bit better. Talk next week.